Marriage. Listen, I had to stand up for this one. Today's conversation was actually not my plan, but there is a fire burning in my heart right now that I just needed to speak to. And as I prepared for it today, I realized that I never would have imagined I'd be standing here saying these things so boldly, courageously, and publicly. But here I am, relationship rebel expressed. And today, this is what I want to talk about: the way women experience marriage, many of us, most of us, has got to change. Welcome, my friends, to another Catalyst conversation for a relationship revolution, where we challenge the unquestioned assumptions about love, flip the script on what you've been taught, and reveal the truths that no one has told you. This episode is another one, episode 4, I believe, part of our Shit That Has Got to Change series, where I am naming the things that are broken in the way that our culture does relationships and how we can and must do better. Today, I'm calling out the way that a lot of women continue to experience marriage, at least the women that I talk to in Western American culture. And I think that this would probably extend to a lot of other countries and cultures as well. But I will own my location and frame from which I am speaking through. And I'll say this too, that in my conversation today, I will use a lot of cisgender heteronormative language. I am not a cisgender heteronormative person, and nor is necessarily my relationship. However, I have been in cisgender normative relationships. I work with a lot of cisgender heteronormative folks, and those are the majority of people out there. And even within my very queer identities, even in my relationship with Calvin, which in many facets resembles a cisgender heteronormative relationship dynamic, and even in a lot of queer relationships, including the relationship that I had with my former wife, the dynamics I'm speaking to are still relevant. So you will hear me talk about men and husbands. Um, I will do my best to include the extended language of husbands, wives, spouses, so that I can be as inclusive as possible. But please understand that I am speaking to the participant in the marital relationship who, when I speak about men or husbands, who is not relating to to you, who is relating to me. Typically the person who falls on a more masculine side of a spectrum, in a binary. And if you've been following my other conversations around patriarchy or individualism, this makes a lot more sense in terms of context. So I encourage you to look at some of the other, or listen to some of the other Catalyst conversations within this Shit That's Gotta Change series, if you're interested, if that feels like it would be clarifying for you. The other thing that I want to say about this particular conversation is it's probably going to sound a little bit different from some of the other Catalyst conversations that I've had, because I'm a lot off script here today. I'm drinking some mint tea because I'm still getting my voice back. You know, I did put together some notes. I've got some notes I'm working from, and I truly have such a fire in my heart about this that I mean, like, short of like truly typing out a novel, which I did not have time for, I couldn't put together like all of the things that my heart desires to speak to you. So I have um uh bits and pieces of ideas, and we will see where I feel led to go in this conversation, which is really where I felt called to take this, as opposed to the traditional Catalyst conversation structure that I usually follow. like Source really just downloaded for me something different today, and not what I was expecting to talk about to you about either, because that happens sometimes, and I am a relationship rebel, and I can go rogue. So that's what we're calling in, and I hope that it serves you. And whether you are a woman or a man or a non-binary person, however you identify, I hope that you will um, stay tuned in this conversation and stick with me for it, because while I am speaking to what I believe women or folks on the more feminine end of the spectrum, or even, even if you identify as a man but you can resonate with what I have to say, like, this can be you too. um, this is a conversation for all identities, all people, because to change this dynamic, we need all of us. So if you're here and if you're listening, thank you for being part of the change. Okay, so here's where I want to start. I have been in a lot of women's spaces lately, and it's been actually a new experience for me, and it has lit a fire. It has lit a fire for me of inspiration and desire for me to really serve and support women, because I recognize how powerful we are as women, how strong we are as women, and how freaking needed we are as women in this world. Um, and the support and love and warmth that I receive from these groups of women, women entrepreneurs primarily, in wanting to lift one another up and support one another in our success, and in all aspects of our life, has been incredible. And what I also realized in speaking with these women, is that while they have a lot of support in their success in so many areas of their life, especially as business women and powerful women, an area of support that they don't get and that they aren't really even talking about is their marriages, because their marriages, largely to men, are like separate from their businesses, or their men don't get it, or um, they just like they've kind of grown away from their men as they become these powerful, amazing business women, and they have not known how to bring their men and their marriages along with them. Um, and or they're silently struggling in their marriages, and it struck me how, like, unfortunate this is, how detrimental it is to what we are doing in the world and what we could be doing in the world, that we don't have the type of support and love and energy feeding into us from our marriages, from our primary relationships, that we could have, because of all of the things I talk about, right, that are missing in terms of relationships. And the world needs us so much. So, um, what I see so much is that when it comes to our marriages, women are lonely. They're not experiencing the kind of intimacy that they really desire. They're not experiencing the type of true partnership that they want to have. And y'all, like, we women carry so much. And I know we can. We're badasses. We're strong. Should we? I mean, we carry emotional labor and mental labor and household labor while navigating our menstrual cycles and raising our kids, and managing, like, marginalization and being women, holding space for everyone else, because we are the caretakers, right? The patriarchy here. And everyone else's emotion, putting ourselves often on the back burner, right? We're the last people to take care of. Uh, and who's taking care of us? And then we're supposed to also run our business and be CEOs and leaders and take care of our employees and our clients, and um eh, and go grocery shopping and cook dinner and y'all, like, we're superwoman. Yes. Yeah. And that's just got to change. That shit has got to change. Can we be superwoman and have a superman taking care of us at the same time, please? Yeah. Um, I would like to place that order. Thank you, universe. um, and I have a superman. Thank you, who is working on learning how to be a superman, actually, because he's got patriarchy stuff to undo and an intimacy to learn. And this is part of the journey, right? Is like we can't just have this perfect person, even as a queer woman, right? Like, because we women are also saturated in patriarchy and in lack of relationship education and in not understanding how to do this thing called relationships, which challenges the shit out of all of us. So I can talk a good game, but we this is, to be very clear, not an attack on men or any person, because we women aren't perfect either, and I'm gonna speak more to that in a moment. First, I want to just take a second for those of you who may not have heard these terms of mental labor and emotional labor. I think they're really important to understanding women's experiences and part of what needs to change. And so I want to just clarify what these mean, because when I learned about them, it was like, what, yeah, holy fuck, um, that's a problem. And then, of course, whenever I learn about problems that I wasn't aware of, then they become problems in my relationship. But then we up level, and so that's a good thing. Uh, Hang on, sinus drainage, fun times. Okay, so mental labor is like this the constant invisible management in our heads where we are keeping track of all the things, right? The appointments and the plans and the things that the kids need, like their shoe sizes, and when it's time to switch from winter clothes to summer clothes, and where things are located in the house, and what groceries we're out of, and when it's time to go grocery shopping, and when the holidays are coming up, and whose birthday is next, and um like what the kids best friends are, and the the when the school conferences are, and um like when the maintenance guy's supposed to come, like it's just like it's so much. And uh, we women tend to hold so much more of that than men do. I don't know if y'all know, but if you were to ask your wife to make a list of all the things that she pays attention to, and you make a list of all the things that you pay attention to, like keep track of in your head, I promise you her list is going to be 3 to 20 times longer than yours. Okay, it just, and that's, you're not a bad person, you're not failing because of it. It is just part of the way that we are programmed, socialized, part of the effect of patriarchy, honestly. But this is part of what needs to change also, okay? And then there's something called emotional labor, which is distinctly different, connected but different. So emotional labor is the energy that we expend managing and regulating everybody else's emotions so that they don't get upset or defensive or shut down. It's the work that we do to help you feel better when you've had a hard day. It's the work that we do when we see that the kids are fighting, and we help to break up the fight and soothe them, or calm the baby when the baby's crying, or like the other day, one of our kids came downstairs and was like crying and saying, "Help, help, help." And I looked at Cal, it was, one of his biological daughters. I'm a bonus mom too. And he's like, like, why can't she do things on her own? And I'm like, Cal, I think she really needs help. And she's like, help, I only have 2 minutes. And he's like, oh God, she's just like, so like having such exaggerated feelings. I'm like, dude, I think like something like actually happened. And and like, and he's not a bad guy. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. He felt really bad about his response. This is a learning opportunity for him, right? But this is part of like, just becoming aware of how pervasive and automatic these things happen. We don't even know. We're not even conscious of it. So I checked on our daughter, um, and she had an accident right outside the toilet. She hadn't made it on time, but our oldest child was in the shower, and he had gotten very critical, contemptuous of her, and very much shamed her for peeing on the floor, and told her that she needed to clean that up in 2 minutes, or she was going to get in big trouble from him. And so she was feeling ashamed and panicked because she needed to clean it up. She didn't know where the towels were. She needed help, and right, and in tears. And now she's anxious and panicked, right? And so I like stepped in to find out what was going on and to soothe her, and then to do the emotional labor of engaging with our son about like um, how he reacted to her and the impact of his um, criticism and shaming her, right? That's emotional labor too, having that conversation with him, that teaching moment. Right. And so like all of that, that's emotional labor. And we women tend to do a lot more of that. Not just with children, with friends, with our spouses, with ourselves, because our spouses don't know how to do that with ourselves, so we have to do that with ourselves. At work, with our bosses, with our colleagues, with our clients. We give so much emotional labor in the world, that men typically do not have to expend that energy in their day-to-day lives. Certainly not the way that women do. Okay. So, um, so it's all of that, right? That we're experiencing. And on top of that, on top of all this, right? There's these other expectations on women, like that we're supposed to be available for sex, and we're supposed to be sexy and thin, but like and beautiful, but not too much, and not too flirty or too powerful or too loud. We're supposed to be nurturing but not needy. We're supposed to be accomplished but not intimidating. We're supposed to do our part but not emasculate our men. And then gosh, I worked with a client whose husband, and I see this, like, this is part of the discourse in the world, that whose husband believed that because he put food on the table, he went to work, put food on the table, provided a roof over her head, that should be enough, right? That she should, you know, go grocery shopping and make dinner and keep the house clean and do the laundry and take care of the kids and be happy. And she shouldn't need anything more from him. No emotional intimacy, no communication, no like fun things, no connection. Like, he's a good provider and that's enough. Like, yeah, maybe back in the, I don't know, 2030s. Guys, let's revolutionize this shit, right? Like, we are way, way past it. It is not enough. We need so much more. You need so much more. And y'all, men, right? Men, like husbands, wives, spouses, like y'all, um, this is an invitation for you to step in also, right? To step into more more of your fullness, more of your humanity, a more happy, healthy, whole marriage yourself. And listen, I haven't introduced myself yet. Let me say this first. Like, I'm not sharing this as an outsider looking in. I am not coming from, an academic place. Like, I may have some degrees, but um, if you know anything about me or the way that I am showing up in this world and doing this work, it's not coming from a place of like, I am holier than thou. I have it all figured out. I am living this. not lived it, figured it all out, like living this. And I know what it's like to feel unseen, unheard, and overextended. I know, that like the story I just shared, which happened, well, maybe a month ago, with our daughter. I also know, however, the power that happens when a woman finally decides that she's done living small and starts leading differently and expecting, even demanding, but doing so in an empowered and effective way for things to be different in her relationship. And I have been inspired by women to uh, to support women to learn how to do this, which is why I have created a brand new program called Fulfilled, um, for women to learn how to do this so we can change our relationship. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about Fulfilled in a little bit, because I'm really excited about this program. I want you all to know about it. And I want women to have relationships that are different and better. And I will, a little caveat, like, yes, this is a program for women to be fed by their relationships, not drained for them by them, to have marriages that that their souls and their success really deserve. But it is also a program that has space for their spouses to do this work with them, alongside them. Okay, so more on that later. Um, for those of you who don't know who I am, let me just say, uh, my name is Dr. Jenny Wallig. I am a relationship mentor, speaker, author, educator, co-founder of Powerful Love Relationships. I call myself the Relationship Rebel. I am. I've also started using the identifier that I am an intuitive, infinite possibilities guide and relationship empowerment expert, because I am. And I think that owning the empowerment piece and the like the intuitive kind of spiritual way that I work is really important in showcasing my identity and who I am, how I work with people. I'm going to skip a lot of how I usually introduce myself because I'm speaking a lot and actually have a bit of a deadline today. Um, what I want to say, skimming through the introduction, um, I want to say this about myself and my work. A couple things. First, foundational belief that it only takes one to change a relationship. That if when we learn to lead our relationships powerfully, as long as we have a partner who is engaging the relationship with us, they will follow if you are leading. But that in order to lead powerfully, we need to learn what that looks like, and nobody's taught us how to do that. So we need to take ownership of learning how to do that differently, and that is in part what these catalyst conversations are about. But our goal in these conversations and in everything we do at Powerful Love isn't just to teach how to do things differently. What we really desire to do is to redefine and unlock possibilities, because we know that uh, the suffering in the world is caused by relationships that aren't working, and that there is so much more that is available to us through love, through relationships, through our own self-leadership, when we know how to do it, then most of us, I won't say any of us, then most of us even realize. And Cal and I are just starting to really touch it. Like, we've known it's there, but we're really just starting to touch it. And it is so fucking good. And I want everybody to have it, because it's life-changing, it's game-changing. So, you know, this conversation, I wanted to have this conversation really as both a call in around this piece that really I would love to see change, right? That I would love to see more women to have a better experience of marriage. Um, and it's a call in for women. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But first, I want to say that this is also a call in for men, or wives, spouses. Um, when I talk about let me backtrack because I'm looking at my notes and I see my notes is saying this better than I'm trying to say it right now. Okay. Okay. So part of so the invitation of women, and I'm going to say more about this in a sec, but the invitation of women really is to allow yourself, give yourself permission to want more for yourself. Okay? Because I think that a lot of us settle and think that it's like not worth wanting more or asking for more, or that we, ask for more and we're not getting it because our spouses are not willing to do the work with us. And so if they don't do the work with us, we don't think it's possible to have. That's what I'm going to speak more on later. But so this is an invitation for you to allow yourself to desire more and believe it's possible to have, even if your spouse isn't doing the work with you. But to the husbands, wives, and spouses, this is an invitation to you to consider that what you think has been enough simply isn't enough, right? And that doesn't mean that you are not enough, okay? You are not a bad spouse. In fact, I believe that you are a good spouse. You are a great spouse. You are doing your best. You love your wife. There are a lot of really great men out there, right? I am not a man hater. I've got two boys. I love my father, right? Like I have a man as a partner. I was married to a cisgender heterosexual man who was wonderful. My high school sweetheart once upon a time was my first marriage. Like man, I actually would love to work with men, even in many ways more than women. But right now, the way to get to a lot of the men and the work that men need to do is going to be through women, because it's we women who are leading the charge. It's we women who have the drive and the motivation to pull our marriages forward, because of the emotional labor that we're doing, right? Because of the caretaking, because of the responsibilities that we hold, and because we are the leverage that convinces our men to do some work that they don't always necessarily realize that they need to do, or that is important to do. And so we, get them to do it. However, begrudgingly, we drag them to therapy or to relationship coaching or to a class or to read a book or whatever it is. And then maybe they change. But it is what it is, what it is. Okay. So we're going to work with what is. But if your wife has brought you to this video and you're listening to this, know that you're like, thank you for being here. That like most spouses would not. Like at least you had the enough love for your wife to, or even enough drive within yourself to come seek this out. Like that you are an exception to the rule, and thank you. Keep up the good work, and go tell your friends to get on board. But the truth is, our system hurts our men too. Um, and 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 I need you to hear this. The hard reality is that um, in this relational work, because of the way that the system has set things up, you as men, as husbands, wives, spouses, to the women, to the wives who are in the position who's resonating with what I'm saying here, probably going to have a harder job, are probably going to have more work to do here than your wives. If you want to change what's not working, if we're going to create relationships with real equity and shared power and unlock the true power and potential of love, it's going to ask more of you than probably your wives have to do. And whether you want to hear it or not, you need to hear it. And that's just the truth of it. So take a deep breath. You can do hard things. Your wife is worth it, and you are worth it, because it is going to benefit you. It is going to benefit you, love, more than you freaking realize. Okay? So here's what I want to also say to you, my fellow women, my fellow women. Did I just like masculinize women? I don't know. Dear women, I recognize that for many women in this world, And it's probably not those women that I'm even talking to right now. They probably aren't the ones who would be here listening to this video. Uh, but they may be women that you talk to, women in your world. They don't realize that this is even a problem. That they even could have more, or uh, that having a spouse who goes to work and provides for them uh, is is a very low standard, and that they deserve to raise that standard and have something even better in their relationship. Or if they do realize it, I see a lot of women who are not willing to put in the work to do anything about it. I was just talking to a powerful woman and fellow entrepreneur today who shared that she's been married for 33 years. She actually doesn't have hardly any friends. She's got one friend, and that's it. One friend who's happily married. All of the rest of her friends aren't happy in their marriages. They're all married, but they're not happy in their marriages. But they're not willing to do anything about it. Too much work, not worth it. So they just settle. Ugh, that breaks my heart. We deserve so much more than just settling. Oh my gosh. Like, what could we be accomplishing? What kind of energy and resources and inspiration and co-creation could we be doing if we were truly happy, fulfilled? Or or they do think it's worth it, but they don't think that their man is going to change. So they don't try, right? They don't bother because they don't realize how powerful they are, right? They don't realize that they could change their relationship even if their spouse isn't on board. Or they don't think it's bad enough, right? They want it to change. They know it's worth it. They think their partner probably could, but they don't think it's that bad. So they wait until they're living in scorched earth before they reach out for support, which is where most of the people that I've worked with as both a couples therapist and a coach have come to me from. And when you're in scorched earth, when you're in crisis, it's harder than ever to come back from that. Sometimes you can't come back at all. Or they do see that it's a problem. They do want things to change, but they exhaust themselves spending all their time and energy fighting with their partner in a futile attempt to get their partner to understand what the partner is doing wrong, right? And how the partner needs to change and why the partner needs to get on board with getting help. But the partner's resistant and defensive, right? All the while things are getting worse until they too end up in scorched earth scenario. Listen, it's another shit that needs to change. Soapbox, and I realize I'm running out of time, so I'm going to make this one quick. I wish that we did not treat relationship support like a vitamin. Like I know it would be good for me, but I don't necessarily need it. And I'm sure that like the healthcare world wishes that we would treat our health that way too, right? Like that we would not just take it for granted and kind of treat it badly and not actually take care of it until we are really sick and then we go get help. Like we do the same freaking thing with our marriages. And I'm not here to shake my finger at anybody or to espouse fear about what's going to happen if you don't work on your marriage now, or 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 like be in this space of judgment. uh what I am really here for, and is and what I am and the way that I desire to run my business and to speak in these conversations and in all of the work that I do when I talk about what I see going on and what I would like to see change is to just share my heart, to be a mirror for what I see that is not working, what I think that if we could change would make this world a better place, would make your life a better place. Because truly, I have come to understand that most of the suffering in our world comes from relationships that aren't working. And right now, I believe that our world needs relationships that work, and our world needs what women have to offer. More than ever, our world needs the power that women can bring, our fire, our wisdom, our warmth, our connectivity, our care, our consciousness, right? We are the mothers of creation. We can help heal this world, but we need one another. We need our partners. We need our husbands, our wives, our spouses. We need the sanctuary of their arms, the safety of their love, the strength of their support, the solidarity of their fucking presence in true partnership right by our sides. And that is why I know that I have been given this calling to create the Fulfilled program. Because when women are truly fulfilled, when we have the energy, the support, the resources that we need to go forth into our highest power and purpose, we change our marriages, we change our families. Everyone benefits, including you, husband, wife, spouse. You benefit too from your fulfilled wife, right? When women learn to lead differently, when we reclaim our voice, our pleasure, our needs, our leadership in love, we can change everything, right? Our partners, our kids, our communities, everyone rises with us and we will change the world. So let me tell you a little bit about Fulfilled. Okay, friends? And thank you for sticking around to hear about this. If not for you, then for some other woman in your life, because really, this is so needed. Fulfilled is a movement anchored in a community of visionary women who are ready to revolutionize their experience of marriage. Because again, we need each other. And I believe in the power of our connections and the resonance we have to offer one another in our shared wisdom and experience and love as far more powerful than anything I could ever give one-on-one. And I have witnessed that time and again, anytime I've done something in a group kind of a way. So for the woman who is ready for her voice to be heard and her feelings to matter, for her needs to be met in her marriage, her softness to be safe, her soul to soar, for the woman who is done waiting and who is ready to move forward, even if her spouse isn't willing to do the work with her right now, Fulfilled is the place for her. And the truth is, Fulfilled is where she's going to learn how to call her partner into this work so that the energy and effort that you're already spending in your marriage actually gets you somewhere. Because I know that you are putting energy and effort into your marriage, and it is frustrating as hell to keep spinning your wheels and feeling like you're banging your head against the wall and not be getting anywhere. And yeah, it's not fair that women are having to take the lead or improve their marriage. Again, yes, your partner or spouse should be doing the work with you at least, if not on their own. And again, the best way that I can work with your partner or spouse is through you. And so part of the Fulfilled program is structured so that as we start working together with you, there is an opportunity or there's an invitation for us to have a conversation with your spouse. Now, conversation with your spouse is an opportunity for us to learn about their perspective so that we can integrate that into our support of you and your experience. But it's also our way of inviting them in to see the benefit of participating themselves, if they are willing. And if they're not, that's okay. So the invitation is there. And should they desire to participate in the program, does not take away from our sacred sisterhood space. Okay, there will be some calls in which spouses will be invited to join, but a majority of the spaces, spouses will be in their own container with Calvin. We'll be doing the same kind of work, but they will be in their own journey with other husbands, wives, spouses, um, on their own part of what they need to work on. Okay. So it is both individual and relational at the same time if they're in it. And there's always time and space for them to join at any point in the journey. So it's not like they have to hop in right in the beginning. And we can talk more about that later. But I just want you to know, like this is a program that is the movement for women to experience something different in their marriage. And it is not a program structured with the intention that women should have to do all the work. It is a program structured knowing that women have the power to change and transform their relationship and should not have to wait, while learning how to leverage their power and invite their partner in, and having a holding space for those partners to catch them when they're ready. So I will also say that if your partner does want to join, if you join and your partner does want to join, they get to join for free if you join before December 15th. Plus, we've got a couple of other really amazing end of year bonuses to keep your momentum, or to get you in really strong, powerful momentum to start 2026 really great. The Fulfilled program starts officially January, in January. But there is pre-work in the program prior to January. And the sooner that you join, the sooner that we can get going and the more bonuses that you get. So there will be a link to apply for Fulfilled in the description to see if you qualify for the program. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. It's I don't know if I mentioned, it's a 6-month program. The investment is $7,000. If you are a part of the relationship revolution, you are invited into Fulfilled for $4,000 if you join before December 15th. And if you have any other questions, please, again, reach out, let me know. If you want to be a part of the relationship revolution, where we take these conversations and move them from just learning and ideas into applied practice, where things actually start to change and transform in our relationship, and a community of support, then please consider joining us in our monthly membership. The Relationship Revolution is $147 membership a month. You can cancel anytime. So what do you got to lose? Here's an opportunity to continue to uplevel your relationship on an ongoing basis with practical tools and applications and feedback and support to make sure that it is working in the way your relationship needs. Thank you for being with me today in another particularly lengthy shit that's got to change conversation. I love you all and so appreciate that you are part of this revolution with me. I will look forward to seeing you next time for another Catalyst conversation, where I believe I will be talking about shit that's got to change around our need to learn how to fucking do this whole relationship thing a lot sooner, a lot better in our lives. We're live every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific here on my page, and the Powerful Love Facebook page, and the Powerful Love YouTube page. Until then, keep leading with love.